Hi, I'm Dr. Papia Bhattacharjee. In this problem, we have a function, and look, it's a function in three variables, x, y, and z. And we have to find the first partial derivatives of this function. Now, since there are three variables, we will have to compute the partial derivatives with respect to x, y, and z. Okay, so let's start with the partial derivative of w with respect to x first. Now, since there are two other variables, partial with respect to x means that the other two variables y and z, they will be considered constant. Okay. So, let's take each of these terms and evaluate the derivative of each one separately and then add them together. So, we'll take the derivative with respect to x of x y square z to the 4 plus the derivative of 9xy minus the derivative of z. Okay. Now, remember, y and z, they are constant. So, let's consider this first term. If y and z are constant, this entire term y squared z to the 4, this should be a constant term. So, you just pull it outside and take the derivative of x. Since you are doing partial with respect to x, derivative is just 1. Okay. For the second term, look, 9 is already a constant, we know. Also, y is constant. We know that, so you pull that out as well. And then take the derivative of the x term, which is just x, and so the derivative is 1 again. For the last term, look, there is no x, there is just z, and z is considered constant, so the derivative of a constant is 0. So, simplifying, we get y square z to the 4 plus 9y. So, this is the first partial derivative with respect to x. All right. Next, let's consider the partial derivative of w with respect to y. Again, as before, since we are doing it with respect to y, we consider x and z to be constants. So, we do the same thing again. We do it term by term. So, this is derivative of first term x y square z to the 4 plus derivative of 9xy minus the derivative of z. Okay. Now, be very careful again, x and z, they are constant. So, look at the first term. X is constant, z is constant means z to the 4 is also constant. So, you pull those two outside first and then take the derivative of y square. The derivative is 2y. Okay. Plus, again, x is constant, 9 is constant. So, the entire 9x, pull it out, and the derivative of y is 1. Finally, the last term is just z, there is no y, so z is constant, therefore the derivative is 0. So, when you simplify, you get 2xy z to the 4 plus 9x. So, this is the first partial derivative of this function with respect to y. Finally, we have to compute derivative with respect to z. Okay, so let's do that. Now, since this is with respect to z, of course, x and y are going to be constant now. Okay, do the same thing again. So let's see. We take the derivative of x y square z to the 4 minus the derivative with respect to z of 9x y. Sorry, this is not minus, it's plus, and then minus the derivative of z. Plus, then minus. Okay. Now, be careful again. X and y are constant. So for the first term, this entire xy square is constant. So pull it outside and take the derivative with respect to z of z to the 4th. So using power rule, this is 4z cube. Okay, look at the next term, the second term. There is no z. So this entire 9xy is constant. And so derivative of constant is 0. And the last term is just z. So the derivative is negative 1. Okay, when you simplify, you get 4x y square z cube minus 1. And so this expression is the partial derivative of this function with respect to z. So that completes the problem. Thank you.